Welcome everyone. Let's get into it. So we've got Mightyena here. Mightyena was obviously a very underwhelming Pokemon. It's a really cool design. I really think it's a super underrated Pokemon in my opinion. So I am definitely happy to be able to give it some pretty. Okay, here's what I'll say. The buffs are extremely great, but they are also very self-explanatory and simple when you think about it. A lot of the other Pokemon have like really in-depth reworks. Mightyena is very simple. It's just a lot stronger, a lot faster, has a new ability, and a lot of new moves. All right, that's the main gist here. However, I will go more in depth in a second. But the main gist of it is that uh, he has he keeps Intimidate, which is a great ability. He does have Reliable Recovery and other utility moves such as Intimidate plus Parting Shot, Intimidate plus Slack Off, Intimidate and Leer, and Scary Face, which are buffed. Not to mention, you can go to the description below and look at all of these changes for yourself, including the buffs to all of these moves. The vast majority of these moves are buffed or changed in some way, so I would definitely recommend checking that out in the description and looking at all the moves for yourself. I have a very detailed guide, as you can see below here. You can literally look up every single move and in great detail, and you can see what they all do now. And yeah, great, and they're organized and stuff, so it's easy to look. With that being said, though, Mightyena has very, very self-explanatory buffs. So stat-wise, all it has buffed but is attack and speed. That's all it had. It's all it needed. Excuse me, I'm speaking kind of weirdly right now. Forgive me. You've got that 480 base total, which is the quote-unquote minimum for the hack for the most part. They do evolve at level 20, which is why they have that base stat total, so they'll evolve right in time for Hala, which is great. You won't have access to Psychic things at the time, but you will have access to Intimidate, which is really great for Hala. Even if you are weak to fighting, it's still nice to have that Intimidate, as well as other utility moves such as Swagger, Torment, and Embargo for early game. Z Odor Sleuth will also give you a +2 attack boost, so you can actually get some sweeps going early game for like Akala Island, for example. You can like Z Odor Sleuth into Fangs, for coverage with Strong Jaw. Speaking of, yes, that is their other ability. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. Yes, they have lost Moxie, but Moxie is not nearly as powerful as Strong Jaw, and not to mention, there is another Pure Dark type with Moxie in the attack. I will not spoil who it is, but I believe there's one more. Let me check, actually. I guess I technically don't, actually, but I probably will. I probably will end up having a Pure Dark with a Moxie, most likely. We will see exactly, but most likely I will. And point is, I definitely like Strong Jaw more. I like it more. It's more fitting. I mean, Hyena's little. It's first of all, it's literally called like the Bite Pokemon. That's what it is. And the Dex entries also talk about how like strong it is, like the will bite savagely with the sharply pointed fangs. But most importantly, hyenas do have some of the strongest bites in the animal kingdom. Not like actually the strongest, but it's definitely up there if if my animal facts are correct. So very fitting ability and very powerful. So with Strong Jaw, so keep in mind in this hack you do have access to infinite use ability capsules and infinite and instant EV training. Excuse me, I'm very much slurring my words right now, more than usual. Forgive me on that. Crunch is incredible. Crunch is 85 base power and it becomes Stab, so you essentially get a 2.25 times boost to your Crunch with Strong Jaw. Coming off a 115 base attack, it's very powerful. They also have a great 105 base speed because they are, a hyena / wild dog, and those things are pretty damn fast, so I think 105 base speed is very fitting. You can check the speed tier guide and see where he currently stands up against all his other Pokemon. It is becoming sort of a crowded speed tier, but that is what it is. Still a great speed tier nonetheless. I mean, he does have access to priority and Sucker Punch and First Impression as well, so that's always great. Both of those are TMs, so. But yeah, that's Crunch. Okay, Crunch or Strong Jaw is like your absolute best stab move, even stronger than Wicked Blow, and also more accurate than Wicked Blow, and has an additional effect. However, Wicked Blow does bypass crits, but yes, Wicked Blow is 90% accurate, so Crunch is stronger and better. You also have Power Trip, which is incredible, which I'll get into in a second, and you have good stuff like Health Thrust if you did end up deleting Crunch, but Health Thrust also disables Fairy type moves for 2 turns, so you could definitely make some use of Health Thrust for sure. But overall, you're going to be wanting to run Strong Jaw, Crunch, or Intimidate Crunch, and you also have access to tons and tons of incredible coverage moves with Strong Jaw. So Jagged Fangs and Psychic Fangs are both 85 base power moves that also become 128 base power with with Strong Jaw. So you have Crunch for stab, then you have Jagged Fangs and Psychic Fangs. All 3 of those moves are 128 base power with Strong Jaw. Very, very strong stuff right there. Then you have Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, and Poison Fang, all of which become 112.5 base power with Strong Jaw. So you have 127 127.5 base power and 112.5 base power moves for coverage and then stab. It's great. You don't even need your other coverage moves, although those are great as well. You do have stuff like Play Rough, which is buffed, Takedown, Close Combat, U-Turn, First Impression, Lunge, Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Rock Tomb, etc. You have a very good coverage outside of the Fangs. Although, besides Jagged Fangs and Crunch, all of the Fangs are reteachable, which is really, really useful because you can essentially just tailor your moveset for each boss fight. Say that this boss fight has a Pokemon that you need to hit that's weak to this. Okay, then run Fire Fang for that battle. Okay, next fight, run Ice Fang. You know, you could be alternating that. The only move that I think should be a staple is Crunch, especially because you can't reteach that. And I would say probably keeping Jagged Fangs is a good bet. But you do have Rock Slide if you did end up needing to forget Jagged Fangs or something. Say for a big boss fight, if you're doing a Team Lock, Nuzlocke, you had to delete the move. Okay, well, no big deal. You do have Rock Slide down the line, although it is weaker than Jagged Fangs without Strong Jaw. But with Strong Jaw, excuse me, other way around. With Strong Jaw, it's weaker, but without Strong Jaw, it's actually 10 points stronger. It's 95 base power, 95% accurate, so it's a good move nonetheless. You do have other good coverage like Aqua Tail and Gunk Shot, although you already have Poison Fang, excuse me. But yeah, Play Rough, Takedown, Close Combat, U-Turn, that kind of stuff is all great. Outside of Strong Jaw as well. And I cannot understate the amazingness of Intimidate as well, because while Strong Jaw is incredibly powerful with base 115 attack and 105 speed, having that Intimidate is incredible. I mean, you become super, super tanky with Intimidate, and you do, again, have utility with, like, Parting Shot. Intimidate is incredible. Taunt, Leer, Scary Face, Slack Off, Yawn, Memento, Battle Cry is incredible. Battle Cry drops both of their offensive stats by 2. You have lots of great stuff, all right? Intimidate's amazing, and the best part of this is that you have access to these infinite ability capsules, so you can just swap the abilities around as needed. That's not me saying keep one ability and run that one the whole time, although if you're not doing a Nuzlocke, feel free to use whatever abilities you want and just play for fun. But if you're doing more of a competitive, Nuzlocke type run where you are not competitive, but, more of a challenging run, you're going to want to take advantage of the resources you have, and one of those most important resources is, of course, the ability capsules and the ability to switch between your abilities, because I did, in fact, design Pokemon with the fact that you can and should be swapping between their abilities in mind, meaning I designed them with the idea that you're swapping between them as you need. Man, I'm not speaking properly right now. Oh, that hurts to laugh. Okay, yeah, I'm not feeling the best if that wasn't obvious, but, good enough to record. So, yeah, amazing stuff with Fangs and Strong Jaw, and then you have Intimidate, much more, basically run Strong Jaw for that damage boost, and then otherwise you're running Intimidate for that utility, for that defensive usefulness. It's very great. Just a very solid ability. I mean, you become super, super tanky after one Intimidate on the physical side, and then of course that can support your teammates. You Parting Shot out, you get into a teammate, now the opponent is much weaker, and you can take advantage of stuff. You also have Setup, so you have Swords Dance and Howl. Swords Dance, of course, just gives a flat +2 attack, while Howl actually gives +2 attack and special attack at the same time, which is even better. Obviously, the special attack boost is not useful, but the main reason you're going to be using Howl is for a Power Trip. So Power Trip increases in 20 base power for every stat boost you have. So after one Howl, Power Trip becomes 100 base power. And that's incredible. And then each time you click Power Trip, you actually get another +1 attack boost for a maximum of +3, because Power Trip only has 3 PP to compensate that extremely powerful additional effect. But yes, Howl plus Power Trip is a great combo for sure. With Intimidate, you can use that to get some nice bulk. It's always really nice to have. I actually will give them Z Acclimate as well. I forgot to do that level 65. Acclimate will change their type to match whatever moves on top of their learn set. So you can use that with the Fangs or with any other coverage move, especially with the Fangs though, because you can essentially get Stab and Strong Jaw on any of your moves, and I think that's super cool to have. Just to have that, like, that's super sick that you can, like, use the that is late game, of course, because for balancing reasons, but you do get +1 to all your stats with that Z effect. So with Z Acclimate, you get +2 attack, +1 attack, +1 speed, +1 defense, and special defense. And then with Strong Jaw, you get Stab. You essentially have like an adaptability boost, actually stronger than an adaptability boost on Psychic Fangs or Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Fang, or Jagged Fangs, or any of your other coverage moves that I listed already. So very good boosting option for late game, and that goes incredibly with Power Trip as well. So I think that's super cool. Let's put the Acclimate right there. You also have Z-Roar. Z-Roar will force the opponent out. It's priority now, so Roar is +4 priority and has 1 PP. So essentially you can force the opponent out. Say they're sweeping, say they're boosting against you, say they're going to stop you from sweeping. You can roar them out. You can use Z-Roar to get a guaranteed, absolutely free of risk +2 attack boost, which is incredible for Strong Jaw sets or Intimidate sets. Mostly Strong Jaw though, Strong Jaw at +2 with Crunch and any of those coverage moves such as Psychic Things or any of the other coverage moves is really awesome and powerful. Mightyena is great for Mightyena Island. It's a lot faster and stronger and slightly bulkier. actually much bulkier overall, and it does have Intimidate now. And then it has Moxie, which again loses as Strong Jaw. The reason it doesn't have Strong Jaw as Poochyena is because Bite was repurposed into Jagged Fangs, so there is no Bite move before Melee Island. Jagged Fangs will be learned to mid-Akala, while the Fang TMs are obtainable literally as soon as you get onto Akala Island. So the second you beat Hala, you can buy the Fangs, which is awesome. So those are very powerful options. Mightyena is just a very strong Pokemon, very reliable, very solid. I don't really need to talk about it in too much other detail, honestly. Z Me First also gives a +2 attack boost for earlier in the game, excuse me. So you have Z Order Sleuth, Z Me First, Z Howl, and then you have, sorry, Z Roar, excuse me. Then you have Howl and Z Acclimate and Swords Dance and then Power Trip and all this other great stuff. You also have Hone Claws for earlier in the game if you want that for boosting. It's just very solid. Poochyena early game is also pretty good with like Workup and Moxie. You can get some sweeps going early game. Of course, that is a little lost when you evolve, but it's good for like some of the pre-Hala stuff on Melee Island. So yeah, honestly, I think it's very self-explanatory changes here. I don't need to waste too much more time on it. I could explain some of the weirder choices, like, okay, close combat. That's been given to like a lot more Pokemon because in Gen 8, they gave that TM to a bunch of random fucking Pokemon like fucking Tauros and Buffalant and all these other random Pokemon, Absol, etc. So a fucking Absol and shit can learn close combat. I don't see why Mightyena can't. So Raptor has been able to learn it since Gen 4. The whole logic is that it's just that they're like aggressively fighting up close, and I think that a Hyena could totally do that. So if not, you also have Takedown, Wild Charge, Play Rough, all these great moves. You can always see what these moves are buffed to in the description below. I would definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, it's a great Pokemon. It's offensive and it's defensive with Intimidate. You can really alternate between those two roles as needed. It can really fulfill both that offensive DPS role as well as that parting shot-esque, Intimidate, slack off type role with Scary Face to debuff. Scary Face gives -2 speed, -1 attack. Leer gives -2 defense. All this really useful stuff right there. Battle Cry already covered what that does. Just really awesome, man. It's just a strong, reliable mon. I'm really happy with how they turned out. It is a very simple change, but it is definitely needed and it's definitely powerful. I did consider Dark Normal at one point. I believe the old docs have them as Dark Normal. However, there is a more reasonable. There are 5 Dark Normals already, so obviously Mightyena doesn't need to be that. There is actually 7 Pure Darks, or 6 if you don't count one of them that might be Dark Normal. Actually, we will see. But yeah. I think that's really about it. Honestly, not too much else to cover. So I really do appreciate you for listening this far. If you did and you're new here and you're not subscribed, you definitely should be. So definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. That'd be very helpful for me. Also, leaving a comment down below could help with the algorithm and stuff. You can also feel free to join the Discord server. I have links to my older hacks in there. I have live progress updates in there. You can chat with other people in there that are interested in my stuff. I've been getting a lot of followers recently, or I guess you could say members in the server recently, so that's pretty cool. You can always feel free to join that if you want. That's really about it. Yeah, just make sure you check out the description if this kind of thing's interesting to you. There are a lot more in-depth changes. I also have tons of other videos for all of the Pokemon from in Kanto and Johto. I currently am working on Hoenn, so this is being finished as I live. What am I trying to say? This is being updated live. It's not like a hack that is finished already and I'm just recording videos for it. It's being I'm recording these videos as I finish the changes. So yeah, that's really about it. Super awesome changes. I love Mightyena, so I'm really happy with how they turned out. Super powerful Pokemon here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back for more. Bye.